What are the principles and practices of effective WHS management? To successfully achieve WHS, that which is set up in the workplace should make certain that the organisation fulfills its requirements in the WHS legislation, standards and codes of practice. The following principles outline a model which can be implemented by organisations to assist in meeting both legislative requirements and lead to improvements in WHS performance: commitment and policy, planning, implementation, measurement and evaluation, review and improvement. Commitment and policy. The foundation to an organisation's WHS management system is its policy statement, which outlines its commitment, intentions and principles in relation to its overall workplace health and safety performance. It provides a framework for action and for the setting of its workplace health and safety objectives and targets, which have the participation and support of all areas of the workplace. Part of this commitment is to include all aspects of work carried out. For example, this may include an assessment of the suitability of new processes or equipment, and this must be undertaken before its use is incorporated. This is especially relevant when working with multinational corporations whose parent company may be in a country which has less stringent WHS directives and standards compared to Australia. The assessment should evaluate whether it meets existing regulatory standards or requirements, including any required modifications, as well as compatibility with existing equipment and systems and processes. Planning. Thorough planning can assist an organisation achieve its WHS policy, objectives and targets. Planning can involve the steps to establish or improve the organisation's WHS management system, plans to identify and control risks in the workplace, emergency response plans and corrective action plans in the event of management system failure. Implementation. To achieve its WHS policy, objectives and target implementation, an organisation should develop its capabilities and processes. This may involve people from within and outside the organisation and configuration of plans, resources, systems and structures. Measurement and evaluation. Barn and Barat-Pug's article suggests that in order to have a greater focus on business compliance of the legislation, one needs better relationships with industry associations and state safety regulators. They also suggest that training needs to move from a regulator focus on enforcement to change its focus onto what businesses need to be doing, and obviously to have funding to help this be achieved. They recommend caution about how training outcomes are actually measured, but do say that it's important to determine accurately how many people get trained. Review and improvement processes. While it's generally agreed that it's believed that training improves and supports a safety culture in the workplace, there is still little evidence to indicate that training transfers into the workplace and reduces work-related injury. The article also reviews how training reduces work-related injury and identified a number of training-related activities that they felt could have an impact to reduce work-related injuries in Australian organisations. Accurate paperwork that adequately reflects the tasks employees undertake was noted as a fundamental support mechanism to a good safety culture. This includes procedures, policies, and other related documentation. What are the legal requirements for keeping WHS records of occupational injury and disease? Employers, as per the state regulatory provisions, must keep records that at least include incidents and injuries, near misses, return to work programs, and first aid treatment. What safety records are maintained at a wind farm? In addition to the above, wind farms must keep risk registers, which include all identified hazards, assessed risks and chosen control measures, how and when the control measures were implemented and reviewed, who was consulted during the evaluation process, training activities, incident investigations, hazardous chemicals stored on site, specific registration documents, inspection, testing and maintenance records of specific plant and equipment, copies of workers' licenses who are engaged in high-risk activities, and fire protection and firefighting equipment. In the cited article, some surveyed suggested using industry organisations to develop and help develop safe work meta-statements for activities that are industry-specific because available documentation tends to be fairly generic. Another issue is that getting accurate information is problematic, and they recommend greater emphasis on capturing data on accidents. Another factor is that of training workplace representatives, supervisors and management, and the importance of this being made mandatory for supervisors and managers. Another strong influence on safety performance was noted to be specific training in hazard identification in the work environment. That includes refresher training. In the article, one participant was of the opinion that people who suffer injuries aren't just new staff, but that it's people who've been there for some time and need refresher training to understand the risks and hazards at work and how to work to avoid them. So, what are the requirements stated in the WHS legislation? Previously I mentioned that the law refers to a person conducting a business or undertaking. I stated that in the wind industry, this was a business owner or senior executive. We're looking at what the law says again. This time, I'll refer to them as a person conducting a business or undertaking, that is, PCBU. Remember, you must read the legislation yourself, as I am just highlighting key aspects of it. The law implies that which is expected to be done or planned for is that which is practical, feasible or realistic, possible or achievable, and not necessarily that which is unrealistic, impractical or impossible. I'll be excluding this phrase when paraphrasing, but remember, it's inherent to each of the following expectations as they are stated in the law. The law states people working for or whose work is influenced or directed by a PCBU should expect that the PCBU will ensure their health and safety while they carry out their work. A PCBU should, so far as is reasonably practical, ensure the health and safety of workers that it engages or workers whose work activities it influences or directs while they are at work in that business. The PCBU must also ensure the health and safety of other persons, such as visitors, and that their health and safety is not put at risk by the activities of the business. Similarly, visitors should expect that the PCBU will ensure their health and safety and that they won't be put at risk from this work. What else does the law say of the PCBU? That the PCBU establish, provide and maintain a work environment that's without risk to health and safety. Establish, provide and maintain safe plant and structures. Establish, provide and maintain safe systems at work. Arrange safe use, handling and storage of plant, structures and substances. Establish and provide access to services that support the welfare of staff while at work. Inform, train and instruct and supervise work carried out by staff and protect them from risks that this work has on their health and safety. And monitor workplace conditions and staff health to prevent illness and injury that results from what the business does. Now review the WHS Act again. You may wish to read the paper by Suzanne Barn and Landers Bat Pug of 2012.